Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we dive into a chilling and tragic case that shocked Australia and left a deep scar on the community of North Epping, a peaceful suburb in Sydney. This is the true crime story of the Lynn family murder, a tale of betrayal, greed, and unimaginable brutality that took place within the seemingly safe confines of a family home. On the night of July 17, 2009, 5 members of the Lynn family were brutally murdered in their own home. The crime scene was one of horror, sparking a massive investigation and capturing the nation's attention. As details of the case emerged, it became clear that this was not a random act of violence, but a calculated and heart-wrenching betrayal from within the family's own circle. In today's episode, we will walk you through the events leading up to that fateful night, the investigation that followed, and the shocking revelations that came to light. We'll explore the background of the Lynn family, the dynamics within the household, and the motive behind this horrific actitude. Join us as we uncover the dark truth behind the Lynn family murder. To truly understand the gravity of the tragedy that befell the Lynn family, we need to first look at who they were. The Lynn family was a portrait of love, ambition, and the pursuit of happiness. Min Lin, the father, and his wife, Lily Lin, were immigrants from China who had come to Australia in search of a better life. Min was a successful businessman, running a thriving news agency, while Lily worked alongside him, managing the day-to-day operations. Together, they built a stable and prosperous life for their family. The couple had 3 children, Henry, Terry, and Brenda. Henry, the eldest, was a bright and promising student with dreams of becoming a doctor. Terry and Brenda, still in their school years, were known for their kindness and enthusiasm. The Lynn family was close-knit and well-respected in their community, often seen participating in local events and contributing to their neighborhood's vibrant social fabric. They lived in North Epping, a quiet suburb in Sydney, known for its safety and strong sense of community. The Lynn's home was a place of warmth and joy, filled with the sounds of children's laughter and the bustling activity of a hard-working family. They were seen by many as a quintessential representation of the immigrant success story, embodying the hopes and aspirations of many who come to Australia in search of a better future. However, beneath this veneer of happiness and success lay a darker undercurrent. Family dynamics, financial pressures, and hidden resentments simmered beneath the surface. Little did anyone know, these tensions would eventually lead to one of the most brutal crimes in Australian history. As we delve deeper into the story, we will uncover the complex web of relationships and motives that led to this unimaginable tragedy. Like many immigrant families, the Lynn's journey from China to Australia was one of hope and determination. Min and Lily Lin were both born in China, where they met and started their family. They decided to move to Australia in search of better opportunities, not just for themselves, but for their children as well. This move marked the beginning of their new life in a foreign land, filled with both challenges and opportunities. Min Lin was a man of great ambition and entrepreneurial spirit. Upon arriving in Australia, he quickly established a news agency in Epping, a business that would become the cornerstone of the family's financial stability. His hard work and dedication were instrumental in securing a comfortable life for his family in their new country. Lily, equally hardworking, supported Min in running the business while also taking care of their children and managing the household. The transition from China to Australia wasn't easy. The Lyns had to adapt to a new culture, language, and way of life. Yet they managed to integrate into their community and build a strong social network. Their 3 children, Henry, Terry, and Brenda, thrived in their new environment, excelling in their studies and making friends. Despite the initial struggles, the Lynn family found their place in Australia. They maintained a connection to their Chinese heritage while embracing their new Australian identity. They celebrated Chinese festivals, kept their traditions alive, and ensured their children understood their roots. This balance of old and new was a testament to their resilience and adaptability. However, the distance from their extended family in China also meant that their support network was limited. This isolation may have contributed to the pressures they faced as they worked tirelessly to maintain their business and provide for their children. Little did they know that their quest for a better life would be marred by an unimaginable act of violence within their own home. As we continue, we will uncover how the Lynn family's dreams were shattered and the dark secrets that led to their tragic end. July 18, 2009, began like any other day in the quiet suburb of North Epping. But for the Lynn family, it would become a date forever etched in tragedy. That morning, Min Lin's sister Irene arrived at the Lin home to help with the news agency. What she found instead was a scene of unimaginable horror. As Irene entered the house, she immediately sensed something was wrong. The house was eerily silent, and there was no sign of her brother or his family. Her growing unease turned to sheer terror when she stumbled upon the crime scene. 5 members of the Lin family, Min, his wife Lily, their sons Henry and Terry, and Lily's sister Irene, had been brutally murdered. The victims had suffered severe blunt force trauma, and the scene was gruesome, indicating a frenzied and violent attack. The only survivor was the youngest daughter, Brenda, who had been staying at a friend's house that night. This twist of fate spared her from the horrific fate that befell her family. As news of the massacre spread, the community of North Epping was plunged into shock and grief. How could such a horrific act occur in a place known for its safety and tranquility? The police were immediately called, and the house was cordoned off as a crime scene. Investigators began the painstaking process of gathering evidence and piecing together what had happened. The brutality of the murders suggested a personal motive, and the meticulous nature of the crime indicated that it was carefully planned. This was no random act of violence. It was a targeted, deliberate massacre. As investigators delved deeper, they uncovered a web of secrets and tensions within the Lin family. Financial pressures, business disputes, and personal grievances all came to light, painting a picture of a family under strain. But the question remained: who could have committed such a heinous act, and why? In the days and weeks that followed, the police worked tirelessly to unravel the mystery. They conducted numerous interviews, collected forensic evidence, and followed every lead. The community, gripped by fear and suspicion, waited anxiously for answers. The horror of the crime left a lasting impact, and the shadow of that night loomed large over North Epping. As we continue, we will explore the investigation that followed, and the shocking revelations that ultimately led to the arrest and conviction of the perpetrator. As the investigation into the Lin family murders unfolded, the chilling details of that fateful night began to emerge. The brutality of the crime left investigators determined to find justice for the victims and bring the perpetrator to account. From the outset, it was clear that the attack had been meticulously planned. The killer had used a hammer to bludgeon the victims, a method that was both personal and savage. The level of violence suggested a deep-seated rage, pointing towards a motive that was rooted in personal vendetta or profound hatred. Investigators faced the daunting task of piecing together the sequence of events. They discovered that the killer had entered the home during the night, likely knowing the layout and routines of the household. This knowledge hinted at someone close to the family, someone who had gained their trust. As the forensic team combed through the crime scene, they found crucial pieces of evidence. Blood spatter analysis indicated the order in which the victims were attacked, and the patterns suggested that they had been taken by surprise, with little chance to defend themselves. The presence of defensive wounds on some of the victims showed their desperate attempts to fend off the attacker. Fingerprints and DNA evidence gathered from the scene provided vital clues. Among these, investigators found a critical lead: a bloody footprint that did not match any of the family members. This footprint would later play a pivotal role in identifying the killer. As the police dug deeper into the Lin family's background, they uncovered underlying tensions and conflicts. Financial stress related to the family business, disagreements over money, and strained relationships within the extended family emerged as possible motives. The investigation soon focused on Robert Z., Min Lin's brother-in-law. Z had a complex relationship with the Lin family, marked by both familial bonds and underlying resentments. In an astonishing turn of events, it was revealed that Z had been experiencing significant financial difficulties and harbored deep jealousy and resentment towards Min Lin's success. These factors, combined with the forensic evidence, began to build a compelling case against him. The bloody footprint found at the scene was a match to Z's shoe, and additional DNA evidence linked him directly to the murders. As we move forward, we will delve into the trial, the evidence presented, and the final verdict that brought some measure of justice to the Lin family. Stay with us as we continue to uncover the layers of this tragic story. While the investigation into the Lin family murders focused on uncovering the truth behind the tragedy, there was one individual whose life would be forever changed by that fateful night: Brenda Lin, the youngest daughter and the sole survivor of the massacre. Brenda, who was just 15 years old at the time, had been staying at a friend's house on the night of the murders, a decision that would ultimately save her life. When she learned of her family's fate, Brenda was devastated, her world shattered in an instant. The loss of her parents, her brothers, and her aunt left her utterly alone, grappling with unimaginable grief and despair. In the days following the murders, Brenda faced a daunting and heart-wrenching task, coming to terms with the brutal loss of her entire family. She was thrust into the spotlight as the media descended on the story, eager for details and updates. Despite her grief, Brenda showed remarkable strength and resilience, speaking out about her family and their legacy. As the trial of Robert Z. unfolded, Brenda was forced to relive the trauma of that night, sitting through days of testimony and evidence. She listened as the details of her family's final moments were laid bare, each revelation reopening old wounds. Through it all, Brenda maintained her composure, a testament to her courage and inner strength. In the years that followed, Brenda has dedicated herself to preserving the memory of her family. She has become a voice for the victims of domestic violence and a beacon of hope for those who have experienced similar tragedies. Her resilience and determination to honor her family's legacy have inspired many and serve as a reminder of the enduring power of love and family. As we reflect on Brenda's journey, we are reminded of the profound impact that the Lynn family murders have had on so many lives. The tragedy serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of cherishing our loved ones every day. Join us as we continue to explore the aftermath of the Lynn family murders, the trial of Robert Z., and the legacy of the victims. Stay tuned for the final part of our series, where we delve into the trial and its implications for justice in Australia. As the investigation into the Lynn family murders progressed, it became clear that this case was a complex puzzle with several missing pieces. Despite the mounting evidence against Robert Z., there were still many unanswered questions and uncertainties that made the path to justice a challenging one. One of the most perplexing aspects of the case was the exact motive behind the murders. While financial difficulties and personal resentments were identified as potential triggers, the sheer brutality of the crime suggested a deeper, more personal vendetta. Investigators and psychologists struggled to fully understand what could drive someone to commit such a heinous act against their own family. The forensic evidence, though compelling, also left gaps. While the bloody footprint and DNA evidence linked Z to the scene, there were still questions about how he managed to carry out the murders without waking the entire household or alerting neighbors. The level of premeditation and planning required suggested that Z had meticulously prepared for the attack, but many details about his preparation and execution remained unclear. Additionally, the timeline of events on the night of the murders posed challenges. Establishing an accurate sequence of events was critical, yet conflicting witness statements and the lack of direct eyewitnesses complicated this task. Investigators had to rely heavily on forensic reconstructions and circumstantial evidence to piece together what happened. Another layer of complexity was added by the defense team during Robert Z.'s trial. They challenged the integrity of the forensic evidence, questioned the thoroughness of the police investigation, and presented alternative theories about the crime. This legal battle further muddied the waters, making it difficult for the jury to reach a unanimous verdict. Despite these challenges, the prosecution built a robust case against Z. They highlighted the evidence linking him to the crime scene, the financial and personal motives, and the inconsistencies in his alibi. However, the lack of a clear and complete narrative of the crime left some room for doubt and speculation. In December 2015, after several trials and a lengthy judicial process, Robert Z. was found guilty of the murders of the Lynn family. The verdict brought some measure of closure to the case, but many questions still lingered. How could someone commit such a brutal act against their own family? Were there others involved, or did Z act alone? And what could be done to prevent such tragedies in the future? As we move forward, we'll explore the trial in detail, the evidence presented, and the final verdict. We'll also reflect on the broader implications of this case for the justice system and society at large. Stay with us as we continue to unravel the mystery of the Lynn family murders. After the trial and conviction of Robert Z., Brenda Lynn was faced with the daunting task of rebuilding her life and navigating a new reality without her family. The road ahead was filled with challenges, but Brenda's resilience and determination shone through as she embarked on a journey of healing and self-discovery. With the support of friends, family, and the broader community, Brenda began to piece her life back together. She returned to school, focusing on her studies and her passion for music. Despite the immense loss she had experienced, Brenda remained hopeful for the future, determined to honor her family's memory and live a life they would be proud of. In the years following the tragedy, Brenda has become an advocate for victims of domestic violence, using her own experience to raise awareness and support others who have suffered similar trauma. Her courage and strength in the face of adversity have inspired many, and her message of resilience and hope has touched countless lives. Brenda's journey is a testament to the human spirit's ability to endure and overcome even the darkest of times. While the scars of the past will always remain, Brenda has embraced her new reality with grace and courage, proving that love and resilience can conquer even the deepest of sorrows. As we conclude our series on the Lynn family murders, we are reminded of the fragility of life and the importance of cherishing our loved ones. The legacy of the Lynn family lives on through Brenda and her unwavering commitment to honoring their memory. Join us as we pay tribute to the Lynn family and celebrate Brenda's strength and resilience. Their story is a reminder that, even in the face of unimaginable tragedy, the human spirit has the power to rise above and create a new beginning. During the investigation, a crucial clue was overlooked, a suspicious behavior noted by neighbors. They reported seeing a shadowy figure lurking near the Lynn home on the night of the murders. Despite its significance, this observation was initially dismissed, casting doubt on the thoroughness of the investigation and raising questions about what other evidence might have been missed. During the investigation, a surprising discovery was made. A previously overlooked piece of evidence pointed to a new suspect. This revelation shifted the focus of the investigation and raised new questions about the identity of the perpetrator. The search for justice took a new turn as investigators pursued leads and gathered more evidence to uncover the truth behind the Lynn family murders. After the discovery of the new suspect, intensive interrogation and surveillance efforts were launched by investigators. Their relentless pursuit eventually led to a breakthrough in the case, uncovering crucial evidence linking the suspect to the Lynn family murders. This pivotal moment marked a turning point in the investigation, bringing authorities closer to solving the mystery that had haunted the community for years. The trial of the new suspect revealed shocking revelations about the motive and circumstances surrounding the Lynn family murders. Key evidence presented during the trial, including forensic analysis and witness testimonies, pointed to the suspect's guilt. In a landmark verdict, the suspect was convicted of the murders, bringing closure to the case and justice for the Lynn family. With the conviction of the perpetrator, the community found closure, but the impact of the Lynn family murders lingered. The tragedy serves as a reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of cherishing our loved ones. As we reflect on the lives lost and the journey to justice, we honor the memory of the Lynn family and renew our commitment to preventing such tragedies in the future.